forgot about that. No fade out, just boom, shut off the music. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Grumpy Old Soldiers.
Get off my lawn.
No, JT's not here tonight. He's got some stuff he's got to work on. It has to do with air conditioning, so it's nothing personal.
Damn it.
Oh, no, it's personal. But I just said it was air conditioning.
Yeah.
Dylan, why'd you have to break his goddamn AC for?
Oh, yeah.
My feelings won't get hurt.
Oh, okay. So, let's see.
Well, you're not special anymore. He doesn't fantasize about you anymore.
That's kind of fucked up.
Oh, so how you been, Chuck?
Oh, I've been pretty good. Sorry, something just confused me. I got stuck.
I would expect that from Dylan, not you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, excuse me. I'm still trying to get used to having an actual shower that's there all the time.
Yeah. I mean, it's not funny, but it is funny.
It is.
You know?
It is funny. I could have had a shower today. Well, why didn't you? You've got a shower now.
Hey,
I love this full of ass.
Yeah.
Hey, Chuck, before we continue.
Okay.
Now,
So-
Mark, I know you're not calling the lovely panel a bunch of sons of bitches.
Fuck. My computer disconnected and reconnected from YouTube.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Uh-oh.
So, what are you vaping on tonight, Dylan?
Well, easy. I'm gonna start out with this. Harpy Slim with the newly wicked ether. That has Mr. Stevie Marquez's Mr. Dread, which is a vanilla cheesecake, which is what I told Mark to get. And I also have my daily driver, which is the billet box with the Wicked Alpha that has Pirates Mutiny Bourbon Barrel Aged Vanilla Custard. Hey, big brother.
Yeah. Well, you know, I've got to be vaping on the Blaze on top of the GOG, or whatever you want to call it. For my brother George, I got the GT5 on top of the Therion. And the Sand. That's about it. And you, Chuck?
I'm vaping on the Cthulhu with the Cthulhu bridge in it. And I've got the Geek Vape Nova that I got from George with the bulk on top of it.
That's a good mod right
It
there.
is. Oh, it's just a good mod. It's dual
Yeah.
18650s, all sorts of battery life.
Now, yours is a 21700, right, Chuck?
No, 18650.
Okay, guys. For a second, I thought yours was. Oh,
This
that-
one's 21700,
Oh, okay.
and so's this, the Cthulhu.
Yeah, that's why I just asked the Cthulhu.
Yeah, no, this one that we were talking about then
Oh,
is the
that
Nova.
one. That's a decent looking mod.
Yeah, it's a good solid mod.
But that came out back in the day when everybody was worried about ramp up time and all that. That's a snappy little chip.
Yeah, because of the dual battery, it uses step down technology, which means it approaches it from the top. It's already got the power there, so it takes no time to ramp up.
Now, I know some people who, and I know Mark's a cat, and he's going to tell me to shut my mouth. And I know some people who love burrows, like Bobby and things like that. Some of those people who love burrows also love that ramp up time for the RBAs and stuff like that. From what I've seen and heard.
They like the ramp up time?
Yeah, because there was one reviewer who reviewed a clone of a Wicked product. Mm-hmm. He said there's little to no ramp up time at all.
Oh. Okay, I misunderstood. So, I heard something about Letitia James today.
Oh, what are you hearing now?
That she's facing up to 20 years or more because they're still investigating her. They're finding other things she did too.
Yeah, like one of them wasn't she cashing her grandmother's checks?
Someone.
Damn.
Renter fraud.
She's married to her dad, which I believe is illegal.
Renter fraud with her dad. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
See, I just never understood that. If I'm breaking the law, I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go, Chuck stole a nickel and I'm stealing dollars, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You're right, but at the same time, those people who do like what you just said, big brother, they also like to go in, not only keeping their mouth shut, but they love to go into
So
hiding.
President Trump, welcome.
I don't know. They're not hiding. They're just running their big old mouths and they're just digging deeper. But it's one thing to say she's facing 20 years. Let's actually put her on trial.
Yeah.
I want to see that. I want to see the trial. I want to see justice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, file your articles of impeachment. Do what you want, but just act on them.
Oh, yeah.
The charges, you know?
Yeah, that Michigan senator or congressman filed his motion for impeachment.
I'd like to see that try to go through.
Yeah. Not right now. And LaMonica, what's her name? The one who likes to push on ICE agents.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
She's like, there's no video that exists of me body slamming anyone. I don't even know how to do it. Well, she was doing a pretty good job.
Right.
Yeah, well, one thing about the snowflakes is they're always wrong, but they're so proud of it.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And I'm not saying Democrats. I'm saying the snowflakes. I mean,
Yeah.
and we all know who they are by now.
Yeah.
They're wearing a mask on the sidewalk, still walking their dog. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Now I can see wearing a mask if you've got a compromised immune system.
Yeah, well, no, there are reasons.
Yeah.
Like when I go to the doctors, if I got a cold or I think I might have the flu, I'll put a mask on out of courtesy.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that poor doctor doesn't need my shit.
No, and neither do the other patients.
Right, but at the same time, you still have those idiots who sit in the car by themselves, still wearing fucking masks.
But there's still no illusion that you're 100% safe.
No.
Right.
You're just a little safer now. I'm not going to sneeze on you or cough on you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't make no illusion that was not the magic shield.
No. Nope.
Right, but Jim, that still doesn't compromise that there's still those idiots nowadays wearing masks inside of a fucking car with no one in the car with them. Like, take the mask off.
Well, if you get used to it and you forget you're wearing it, I can see that happening. But I can't get used to a mask on my face.
No, I couldn't get used to that diaper.
Neither
No.
can I.
But now I get it. Sometimes, I mean, you got to wonder if you see somebody with a mask in the car, are they an Uber driver? You know, maybe they're an Uber driver, you know, and make people feel comfortable, get a 5-star rating instead of a 3 or a 2, you know?
Yeah, that does make sense too. Hey, Six Pack.
What's up, Nick?
So, federal judge hands Trump major legal victory, and Dems are stunned by the new polling.
Now that was from all the court cases that he had prior.
Not from all of them. This is just one. They only approve one at a time.
So President Trump woke up today to another major legal victory. Also, Democrats are suffering bad news after a new poll has been released. And in a hearing today, Bernie Sanders got shut down over his continued obsession with Medicaid cuts.
The federal judge has just backed President Trump on the use of the Alien Enemies Act for deportations. That's a rare legal victory for President Trump, and tell me more about that.
Yeah, it's an interesting ruling. Judge Haynes from the Western District of Pennsylvania wrote up a 43-page opinion, and there's a couple of things that are kind of good news and then a real practical aspect. The good news for the administration is you finally have a judge basically saying we're going to give deference to the executive branch. If they designate somebody as part of a terrorist organization, we're not here to undo it. If they say they want to invoke the Alien Enemies Act, we're going to let them do it without a whole lot of scrutiny. And she basically looks at the key provision that everybody got hung up on, which is, can you call this an invasion, or can you call this a predatory incursion? That's the magic phrase.
Yeah, that's what's going on.
How can you not call it that?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
When Tren de Aragua comes into the United States like they did. And she basically says, yeah, she looks at like literally litigation from 1812, 1917, and right after World War II, and says this stuff works, but it's not really our job to second guess the executive branch. So that's a good tone. That's a good result.
Okay, so this is a huge legal victory for President Trump once again. And this is actually rare if you think about all of the federal judges who have been issuing injunctions against the president up to this point. So, yeah, this would be a victory. Now, Democrats are going to continue to claim that not only is President Trump defying court orders, he is skipping due process for illegal aliens, especially the criminals that...
You don't get due process.
Well, actually, most of them have already had it.
Yeah, but you don't get due process. You're not a United States citizen. You do not get the rights of a United States citizen. Sorry.
That's true. That is one of our rights.
They so strongly defend. But the truth of the matter is this: enforcing immigration laws to protect national security is using the Alien Enemies Act. I mean, it is a law on the books. Now, they go on to say this as well. Take a listen.
The other thing is, the Supreme Court has said these guys, if they're in the country, established, not at the border, they have a right to some sort of hearing. She puts a time frame on that if that catches fire with other judges, that's going to be a good day for the administration. She says due process is fine if they're given 21 days to at least try to file a habeas motion. They can do that. They can challenge their designation. But those are things that can be handled very quickly by the courthouse. The judge can rule on the pleadings or have a very quick hearing that says, I'm convinced you're Tren de Aragua, goodbye. So I think overall, even though there's a few weeks of lag there, the script that she's written for the process of dealing with these deportations is actually a pretty good one for the administration.
Yeah, so again, this is great news. Now, the only thing that makes me pause is the fact that these TDA gang members, MS-13 gang members, criminal illegal aliens, should be able to get 21 days notice so they could challenge their removal. I mean, that just blows my mind.
Well, you could put them in a detention center,
No, they go home. If you want to challenge it, you challenge it from home.
Well, that's if they want to do the habeas thing.
But no, you're here illegally. It's time for you to go home. You had your fun.
Yeah.
Enough is enough. We need to reset. We need to get you out. We need to close the borders. We need to just reset.
Yeah.
I would go one step further and just pull out of the world. Just come home. Enough's enough.
Yeah, that's a thought.
This number is going to blow your mind. 1.2 trillion is the amount that the White House is reporting President Trump has been able to secure from his trip overseas. That is including Saudi Arabia and now Qatar. Take a listen.
President Trump has arrived here in the state of Qatar in Doha to sign more deals one day after Saudi Arabia pledged $600 billion into U.S. coffers. The Qataris are upping that and raising it to $1.2 trillion, including an agreement from the Emir of Qatar for more than 200 Boeing jets valued over $200 billion. Here's President Trump earlier.
Congratulations to Boeing. Get those planes out there. Get them out there. But I just want to thank you. We've been friends for a long time, long before politics. Well, for you it was politics. For me it wasn't, right?
Now, thanks to President Trump, Boeing has hit a 1-year high in regards to their stock price. So that's good for Americans. But mainstream media isn't going to report on that. In fact, they want to frame this as President Trump is just getting his ego stroked. This is all just really a sham. I think you'll be able to hear it in their tone. Here's MSNBC. Take a listen.
But the president's intention is to make this look like a splashy, deal-laden visit to the Middle East, where in each of the places he is arguing that he is committing economic opportunity that will bring jobs in the United States, bring investment in the United States, in some cases giving opportunities for American businesses here in the Middle East.
The president has been reveling in the glitzy receptions he has received across this region so far, first in Saudi Arabia, where there was a fighter jet escort for Air Force One as it arrived in Riyadh today. Another fighter jet escort there in Riyadh. He was greeted by Arabian horses, here by a contingent of camels. The president certainly enjoying the personal relationships he has with some of the leaders in this country, including, of course, with the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman.
Yeah, so her attitude is that we don't have any information on where the money is coming from, what it's actually being invested in, even though the White House put out a fact sheet, which I'm going to show you how it adds up to $1.2 trillion. Now,
okay, we'll take his word for it. Yeah, that's enough about that one. He's got a lot of friends over there. He's what?
Well, he was an international developer, yes.
Yeah. Yep. Does he? I wonder if he has any buildings in Dubai.
I don't know.
Who, Trump?
Yeah. Because I
probably does.
I would think he might.
We'll find out.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
So,
stunning nomination? No.
Does Trump have any holdings in Dubai?
Oh, good question.
I think Mark's a sick man for the comment that he just put.
What do you put?
He's got a golf club.
He has. Do they have glory holes in Dubai?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a golf course, a hotel in Tower.
Yeah.
And he's got 2 golf courses.
Of course he does. It just makes sense. I mean, he's got the money to do it. That's the place to do it.
Yep.
Oh, man. You hear about this TikTok challenge where people are going up to doors at 3 a.m. In the middle of the night, 3 a.m., they're not just ringing the doorbell, they're actually kicking the shit out of the front door.
I thought you were
shot in my neck of the woods.
I thought you were about to say they do ding dong ditch, where they ring the doorbell and they fucking run.
That is how it started off, but it developed to kicking the shit out of the door, and people are getting shot. Yeah.
Or the Virginia man who allegedly...
my neck of the woods. You come in my house 3 in the morning, and if I got to come out of bed, somebody's meeting Mr. Shotgun.
Ah, damn it! I forgot to unshare.
He shot and killed a high school student who was trying to break into his house as part of an apparent TikTok challenge.
A few moments later.
After teens tell authorities an age-old childhood prank, the ding-dong ditch, turned deadly. A high school senior shot to death while doing the stunt, his friends say, for a TikTok video.
So at 3 o'clock in the morning, teens are going around kicking on doors and...
Not a good idea. No, you kick on someone's door at 3 a.m., you have no idea who lives there that's going to think that you're trying to break in.
I think that's what happened with me. I think that's what happened with me at one time.
I wouldn't do
bells, and one happens to get shot and killed. Let's talk about it.
This guy's called Nate the lawyer. I watch him a lot.
Hey, Jim. Nick just said he'd strip naked and run across your lawn.
Ooh, I had taken your,
Welcome to Spotsylvania County in Virginia. Yeah, it's called Spotsylvania.
Yeah,
it's Saturday night at 3 o'clock in the morning, and this homeowner hears banging at the front door. The homeowner arms himself and then goes to the front door to see what's going on. Now, let's say when he gets downstairs, he sees 3 people outside of the door, but he doesn't know what they're doing. Remember, it's 3 a.m. Now, because of all the banging and the knocking, he thinks this may be a burglary in progress.
Yeah.
Next, he calls 911 to report a burglary in progress.
Detectives say the initial 911 call was for an attempted home burglary that ended with Butler, who lives in the home, opening fire.
The gunshot went to the chest. I'm back to the scene for an additional.
So what do you got here? You got some kids doing something really stupid, and the homeowner shoots one of them and kills him. And now the homeowner, when you kill somebody, it changes you. It fucks you up.
Yeah. Mentally and physically.
Yeah. It really does. And the guy's going to spend the rest of his life thinking about this all the time.
Yeah. It would have been bad enough if it was a burglary.
Yeah.
It still would have fucked him up. But no, when he shot a kid trying to play a prank.
Yeah. And that
It's
same
like
video.
the poor cop that shoots a kid with a BB gun, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. That screwed up the cop. But I tell you, in that same video, I watched the whole thing. Later on in the video, some guy shot teenagers as they drove into his driveway and drove right back out again. They didn't even get out of their car.
That's a little overkill. Yeah.
Yep.
That's overkill.
Yep. Yeah, these were teenage girls. And he killed one of them.
Yeah, that's a little overkill.
Yeah.
You think some of those people that do shit like that, where they're going out killing people for no reason, these motherfuckers don't think. They really don't. Like my father always say, actions always, follow with consequences. I couldn't think of the right terminology.
Yeah.
To fucking.
You. That's one of the 2 things in life you need to know. You need to know what cause and effect is, and you need to know the golden rule.
Yep.
I mean, that one where the guy shot the teenagers, he, like you were saying, he didn't think. He just wanted an excuse to shoot somebody.
Yeah. That guy shooting that teen kicking his door. If I'd have looked at my camera and see you kicking my door, I'm thinking this day and age, home invasion.
Yeah. Plus the guy's
and
stuck
I'll be
around.
damned that's going to happen.
Yeah, and him and his friends stuck around, so it looked like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not the same as just shooting. As the
that's
other
not
guy.
ding dong ditch. I mean, if I look at my camera and I see a kid come up and knock on my door and run away, all right. I mean, cool. Call the cops. We got some assholes out here keeping me up. But no, that action warranted a bullet.
Yep. And the kid, what he was doing, all those kids were doing, they'd jump up in the air and do a really hard kick against the door as they were coming down.
But that's the home invasion to me. I see somebody trying to get in my home.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to stop and ask you what's your intention.
Nope.
Because you should be, at that age, you should be smart enough to know what situation you put yourself in.
Yeah.
That's like years ago. I think it was Montana. They would hunt elk from behind styrofoam decoys. Until a number of them got shot. Because there are such things as poachers. So the poacher sees this big styrofoam decoy standing on a ridge and takes a shot. And styrofoam don't stop at 300 Win mag, you know.
Sure doesn't.
Yeah, there's some things you do that you've got to expect. This isn't going to end well for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's a little example of people coming into the country with a coyote and all. How one of the ways that they're doing it right now.
A smuggler with 18 illegal immigrants in his van is trying to run from police. What's this about? Oh, there's so many people they couldn't even close the doors.
You're doing 20. There's like 20 plus bodies on the road.
That's crazy. So this chase starts when police realize a van is speeding through a residential neighborhood.
Bad mistake. If you're breaking the law, don't speed.
Don't speed. Make sure your taillights work. Make sure your headlights are working.
Exactly.
And make sure all your doors are closed.
Yeah, that's true. They had it. So many people,
especially with people hanging out. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a dead giveaway.
18 people. Yeah, big giveaway.
With the doors open, and you can see it right here. This is crazy. Look at that. The side doors of the van are open and the trunk is open. Here, police are going after these guys, but they're not stopping. Look at that, blowing through a stop sign at night. That's dangerous. These guys are all over the road. Another stop sign. What are they going to do? Oh, there they go.
Here it is.
And this is the moment where they finally stop. Now, before we look at what's about to happen, understand there are 19 people in this vehicle. So the vehicle stops and everyone just makes a break for it. And there's another trooper right here pulling up. There's a trooper right here who's trying to stop the car so nobody gets injured.
Yeah, the guy driving got out so fast he didn't even put it in park. He left it in drive.
Bodies on the road.
It's incredibly frightening.
Here.
Al piso! Al piso! Hey!
He's telling him get down on the ground. A piso means at the ground.
Hey! Al piso! Señor! Ven para acá! Hey! Get this guy! Go in the back, in the back, in the back, in the back! Get him, get him, get him!
This is incredibly dangerous for law enforcement because you've got all of these people who just committed a crime. They're hanging out with criminals and gang members. They could be armed, and this is just absolute mayhem. These people are all over the street.
Just watch the back. Just don't let them out. Al piso.
Okay, they're apprehending this guy right here.
Al piso, bien. Siéntate hasta abajo. Hasta abajo, dame la mano. Dame la mano.
Give me your hands.
Checking them for weapons.
Las cintas y los zapatos, por favor.
Wow, they got so many people. But 18 people's 5 less than the amount of folks hidden in this trailer right here.
This is fucking scary. People die this way.
Texas police are chasing. Look at this thing. It's just driving. It's pulling off the road. You already know that's suspicious when something like this goes and does that. Look at him making a break for it. Police are not giving up. They are going after this guy.
Hey boy, 1404 Laredo.
Oh, the driver bailed out. Made a break for it. Boy, he really cares about the people he's bringing into America illegally, that's for sure.
On the middle. Okay. Hey, there's more people underneath the boards. Huh? There's more people underneath. Yeah, dude,
so there are people hidden inside.
You can hear knocking.
The actual trailer bed.
Let me get my crowbar, dude.
They're rescuing these people. That is...
By the way, you noticed the tractor that they had on that trailer, right?
So frightening. Yeah. These are like...
There's people under that, too.
Little cells down by the exhaust pipes or whatever equipment is running underneath here. This is incredibly dangerous. They have to get these people out before something bad happens to them. It's very frightening. Got the jaws of life right there.
And then some of these people are stacked in 2 or 3 high. What if the person on top pees?
They've got to undo all of the equipment here. And of course, there are more people hidden underneath this John Deere tractor right here. Now, even though the folks that came in are not as bad as the smuggler, they've still got to be deported. You can't let people successfully enter the country illegally, go about making their way through it, maybe getting to a sanctuary city or something like New York, because that just benefits criminals like that guy that abandoned these people after risking their lives and ran off into the bushes. All of this empowers a criminal underworld.
I think I see somebody in the middle, on the far, in the front.
¿Dónde sienta ahí? A ver, venga.
That is insane. So the title of this video says 23 people were smuggled inside, but somebody on the radio just said 26 people, so I don't know if there were just so many folks here, somebody got double counted. But as you're about to see, these smugglers have no problem risking the lives of their quote-unquote clients because they don't even care about their own lives. Watch this. Here we have a pursuit of this black Dodge Charger right here.
Not a Charger.
Here we go, switching over. Look at him, he is swerving. He's trying to get around this truck right here. Look, oh, into oncoming traffic. Oh, that's so frightening. And officers have to risk their lives and their safety going after this maniac. Look at that, during the middle of the day, running a red light.
Yep.
That could have been an accident right there. Here's somebody who's going to work. They've got their truck full of stuff. They're just living their life.
Yeah, that's just crazy. That's just crazy. I mean, geez.
But they're not criminal.
No.
They go to these lengths, and you're not a criminal?
Yeah.
You know you're wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking, and the mayor of Newark is gonna, he was arrested. Yep.
Yeah, no, it just boggles my mind that you could take a stance against that and say, that's okay. We want these people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like their whole idea is to just resist and just do the opposite of what... It's no wonder we never get anything done, because when the Republicans are in office, the Democrats won't work with them. When the Democrats are in office, the Republicans don't want to work with them.
If one says you can't kill kittens, the other one says you have to.
Yeah. Man, it's crazy. So here's about the mayor of Newark getting arrested for what he did over at the ICE detention center. Let's see, here's the button.
But he didn't do anything wrong.
Oh, I know.
Body camera of protesters brawling with ICE agents has been released. What's this about?
So New Jersey Democrats are defending their actions.
Now, in a second, you're going to see a woman here with a red jacket on, a red sport coat. Keep an eye on her and see what all she does.
Of storm in Newark ICE facility on Friday that ultimately resulted in the arrest of the city's mayor.
DHS says
she's banging into that fucking ICE agent.
Yeah.
And she's saying that she didn't do that, and there's no video of it, and there it is right there.
Arrests could be coming as they accuse 3 Democratic members of Congress of assaulting federal agents at an ICE facility in Newark. The lawmakers say it's the agents that escalated the situation.
Yeah, that's what they always say. It's always the police that make things worse. Can you imagine if these were Republican lawmakers who attacked police for some reason? The story might be a little bit different.
People just are afraid of this un-American hyperactivity, weaponization of law enforcement, and the consistent lying.
They made this a violent scene that we were unfortunately all a part of, and it's something that should really shock all Americans.
How can you lie?
Whoa. Shock all... No. Officer looks at you and says, do this.
Mm-hmm.
You don't do this. You escalated it.
Yeah.
I am going to see that you do this.
Yep. No. Doesn't matter if you work for Congress. At the moment, the cop is in charge.
Exactly, and it's not the place then and there to argue with that cop.
Nope.
Your place to argue with wrongdoing is in a court of law after the fact.
Yes.
You do what the guy with a gun and badge says.
Yeah, because the cops have a tough job. They've got to de-escalate any situation and make sure nobody gets hurt, and they have to arrest people if it's necessary.
That's what infuriates me.
Yeah.
Just do what the cop says, you wouldn't have had any trouble.
Yeah.
The lawmakers say they wanted to conduct an oversight visit at the ICE facility.
But the way to do that, the way to do an oversight visit is to call 24 hours in advance. They ended up putting together a tour for them after a couple hours, but the people in this facility are felons. They kill people. They rape babies.
And who is the mayor of Newark to demand a tour of ICE facility.
You know who he is? He's somebody who's going to be running for governor next time around.
Yeah, but okay, I get that. If you were governor, okay, maybe I could see you could, say, all right, it's in my state, let me have at it.
Yeah.
But you're a mayor. Go handle, public sanitation budget.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have no business demanding entry to ICE.
No, not like that. And then pushing your way in.
When a scuffle broke out with federal agents, DHS is pointing to this video that they say shows at least one representative.
Okay, look who's doing the pushing. The ICE agents are not doing the pushing. There's a fence, there's security, and people are pushing, trying to force their way inside this facility. The ICE
that's the video that she says doesn't exist.
Agents, it looks like they were just defending themselves.
Monica McIver in the red, shoving
So
her
did we
way
just
past
mass
a
hallucinate?
Yeah, no kidding.
DHS agent. They say she body slammed the officer, an accusation McIver rejects.
There's no video that supports me body slamming anyone.
Doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Hey, Dylan, are you a fan of WWE?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what a body slam is. Is that where you just, you run your whole body into them, or is it more than that?
It's more than that.
Okay, so she didn't actually body slam him, but
more like a body check.
Yeah.
She's basically, in a way, doing like one of those football shoulder tackles a little bit.
Yeah, or like a check, like Jim said.
Yeah.
Checking.
Either way, you're not allowed to touch an officer of the law.
No. They are the main arbitrators.
There to do our job, therefore oversight visit.
She's rough, man.
DHS spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin responded this morning.
Happy Hippie says it was an arm bar, by the way.
Body slamming, body ramming, striking an officer, pushing, shoving, whatever you want to call it. It sure looks like assault.
Okay, so she may not have, WWE style suplexed this person, but she was really rough. She was pushing people, and that's technically assault. They assaulted these ICE agents.
Exactly.
If any of us did that to a police officer, we'd be in jail.
New York's Mayor Ras Baraka, who's running for New Jersey governor, is facing trespassing charges for allegedly ignoring warnings to leave the property. Baraka argues he was on public
And the mayor
property
got
when he was
arrested.
detained. The lawmakers were eventually able to tour the ICE facility after the confrontation. McLaughlin says the situation could have been avoided had the members of Congress followed protocol and given 24 hours notice ahead of their visit.
That's all you got to do. You call them up and you say, can I cut to your facility tomorrow? And they'll say, yeah, come on over at 3 p.m.
Yep.
Jeez. Lawrence Ainsley and
Okay, so what these people did, they knew that they were showing up to this thing to get on TV and show the people that they were standing up for who they say are all Americans, even though the people in that detention center were in the country illegally and in many cases are the worst of the worst. ICE isn't out there picking people up off the street for no reason. They're looking for people with criminal records, and that's who's in this jail.
Yeah.
ICE has nothing to hide. They have nothing to be ashamed of.
You got to back that up.
Yeah.
They are targeting criminals.
Yes.
But if they come across another illegal that, maybe he's not a rapist, maybe he's not a murderer, but he is still an illegal, and we came across you, target of opportunity, dude.
Yeah.
So that's what they're exploiting.
Yeah.
There's, that's where they're saying, well, they targeted a single mother, and she was still illegal.
Yeah.
Something led them to her. So obviously she was on the radar.
Yeah, and they're not separating the mother from her child. The child was born in the U.S.
But
they let the
just because
mother.
you're not a murderer, don't mean you're still safe. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody's got a sob story, but everybody's got their own country too.
Mm-hmm.
And that's who's in this jail.
ICE has nothing to hide. They have nothing to be ashamed of.
Oh, this is inside
facility
this
is
place.
So clean. It has, all kinds of recreation facilities, outdoor soccer fields.
Soccer fields at a nice facility.
Domino tables. It also has telephones everywhere with signs next to them of how they can, the phone numbers to reach their consulates. It also has legal facilities, computer webcams. There are doors on the bedrooms.
honestly, this is going to backfire in the faces of all of these quote-unquote protesters because this is a nice, clean facility. Yes, it's a jail. Yes, the people in it weren't supposed to be in America. Yes, this is technically a consequence of breaking the law, but look at it. This is not that El Salvador prison.
Here's a clip.
Okay, a couple
I
of...
wish we were treated that good in the Army.
No shit.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That detention center is supposed to be able to hold up to 1,000 people. They're only about 200 right now.
Oh my God! So they got all the amenities and room to stretch out.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they've got signs all over the place in English and in Spanish that if you want to self-deport, we'll give you $1,000 and take you to any country you want.
Yeah.
Any
That's
country.
not a bad idea.
Not even. Not
And
just
then
their
that
own.
last video you showed when they were showing the Venezuelan prison, I don't feel sorry for them. Did you see how clean they were? How clean the place looked? Nobody had scars. Nobody was, there was no gang symbols.
Nope.
They were, yes. Oh, yes. You were bent over. You were treated like a criminal. But damn, dude, you can't bitch about your living condition.
No, there's nothing to bitch about. It's like you said, hell, I was in the Navy. We got a little easier, and it still wasn't that nice.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. You ever been in one of them Quonset huts that are nothing but a dirt factory,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, stop.
Oh, man.
You're a criminal. You've got to take something. There has to be some inconvenience to your life.
Yeah. Okay. There's a story that a victim, the person was killed in a road rage incident, and the guy just came up and shot him. And they used AI to create a victim impact statement. I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't know it either. Because that's like they won't allow like enhancing a photograph because the pixels you're putting in place weren't there. And how do you know? I mean, yeah, you know that that's
President
just a
Donald
continuation
Trump
of a
is
stick. But how do you really know?
Yeah.
If you're putting that pixel in place, yeah.
Yeah, see, that's another thing, too, is there's two ways to do AI in that case. One of them is completely wrong, where somebody else besides the victim writes a script, and the AI reads it. That's somebody else's words. The other
But again, you just brought it up right there. How is it beneficial? Because it still has to be programmed with a script. Somebody has to tell it what happened.
Yeah. That's it right there. I mean, to me,
you hit the nail on the head right there.
Yeah. So the family of the victim can give their impact statements. That's perfectly fine, but trying to say that I feel sorry for the victim. It was fucked up what happened to him, but he can't give an impact statement through AI. He can't.
Yeah.
It's just
now I could see where AI might help with the forensic analysis of the scene, instead of the strings and the lasers and the measuring tapes. Maybe that you could record with AI.
Well, yeah, and it will work too, because the way they do genetic testing now, they take their sample and they have it propagate. So that they take one sample and suddenly they have 100 samples from it that are all exactly the same. AI works the same way.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that. Here's a little.
They're pushing AI too quick, too fast.
Yeah.
Let's play with it as a toy first.
Yes. Yeah. And we need to not outlaw it, because that means that we'll be the only ones who can't play with it. Which means we won't.
But I think they're just depending on it too much.
Yeah, way too much. Everything is AI this and AI that, and it's not.
But it's like the computers. Remember the Y2K? Because we pushed everything onto the computers, and we didn't think ahead, so we shortened the dates. And Y2K come around, it's like, we didn't think that far ahead, did we?
Yeah.
What are we doing with AI? At some point, something's going to happen, and you're going to go, we didn't think that far ahead.
Yeah. And it's been in so
But
many
it may
science
not be
fiction
as simple
stories.
as Y2K.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a big mistake. They were still making computers in the 90s that weren't able to allow for the rollover into the next century.
But, you know, just something that simple.
So here's a little tank porn.
Uh-oh.
Let's see here.
President Donald Trump is following up on his January declaration of an invasion at the southwest border by putting military bases at the border on a 60-foot wide strip of land.
So when it comes to the U.S. southern border, opinions have always been divided. Do you build a wall? How high do you make it? But now things are shifting in a major way, and plans are in place to turn most of the border into an active military base. Which means...
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. We already saw this or talked about it. So we did this last week.
I think military bases on the border are a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's a good idea. I mean, we have plenty of personnel. You can have reserve commands all along the way.
Well, I was going to say, your 2-week reserve duty. There you go.
Yeah.
Go man a quadrant of the border.
Yeah.
You've got, you know, disciplinary action, you know. Put the, you know, instead of sending them to KP or scrubbing the toilet, you're walking the border for a month.
Yeah. Oh, here, I found where I arrested the mayor of Newark. Just a second. Share. Nope. I got to unmute the tab first.
Body camera of protesters brawling with ICE agents has been released. What's this about?
So New Jersey Democrats are defending their actions of storming a Newark ICE facility on Friday that ultimately resulted in the arrest of the city's mayor.
I know this sounds
more
just
arrests could be coming.
It sounds just like the one I showed earlier. It's actually kind of part of it.
As they accuse 3 Democratic members of Congress of assaulting federal agents at an ICE facility in Newark. The lawmakers say it's the agents that escalated the situation.
Yeah,
blame it on the agents.
What they always say. It's always the police that make things worse. Can you imagine if these were Republican lawmakers who attacked police for some reason? The story might be a little bit different.
People just are afraid of this
Let me try to get to the
There's
body slam about the
therefore pushing.
Oh, wait a minute.
Anyone? As agent. They say she body slammed the officer, an accusation MacIver rejects.
Okay, that's not body slamming. We've decided.
There's no video that supports me body slamming anyone.
Doesn't mean it didn't happen.
There to do our job. Therefore, oversight visit.
She's rough, man.
DHS spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin responded this morning.
Body slamming, body ramming, striking an officer, pushing, shoving, whatever you want to call it. It sure looks like assault.
Okay, so she may not have, WWE style suplexed this person.
Yeah, it's assault. It's assault. Let's see.
It is.
Some more.
Even if you grab an officer's arm.
Yeah, you can't.
Just, lightly grab them, it's assault.
You can't do that. People have no idea what things cops have to look for every second that they're with a civilian, or just in uniform.
Sir, we'd be in jail.
Newark's Mayor Ras Baraka, who's running for New Jersey governor, is facing trespassing charges for allegedly ignoring warnings to leave the property. Baraka argues he was on public
And the mayor
property
got
when he
arrested.
was detained.
Yeah.
The lawmakers were eventually able to tour the ICE facility after the confrontation. McLaughlin says the situation could have been avoided had the members of Congress followed protocol and given 24 hours.
I hope that wasn't in the last video I showed earlier, because I don't remember.
Yeah, well, we saw that.
But so he did get arrested. But
that's good.
That's probably going to play in his favor. He'll probably be a martyr.
Well, to them. But they're dwindling. Their numbers are going down every day.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. You heard about David Hogg, right? He was he was speaking some sense. He said we need to kick the extremists out of the Democratic Party so that we have a chance to win. Now they want to make sure that he got elected properly.
Yeah.
Man, they
But
don't.
he's right. You need the extremists gone, not just from the Democrats, from the Republicans, especially the Democrats. Like you said, that's the only way they're going to win. The only way they're going to get any foothold back in to be taken serious is to get rid of the stupidity.
Yeah. You can't be there for everybody and mend every little boo-boo and kiss every little knee.
Exactly. You can't make everybody happy all the time, but you can make there is a thing called the greater good.
Yeah.
And just because Dylan doesn't benefit from it doesn't mean 1,000 other families doesn't.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, Dylan. I'm not asking you to suffer anymore, but but you may not benefit from this program.
Right. See,
but it doesn't mean it's not good, bad.
Yeah. A lot of us have a lot of things that we need help with, but some of those things we can actually get help from the government. Some of those things. And that makes it easier.
Is it really the government's place? Wouldn't a lot of this stuff now I hate bringing this up.
Yeah.
It's like abortion though. A lot of this stuff falls back to the state. Now like the state mental hospital. It's not the federal government's issue to take care of anybody mentally handicapped in the state of Maine. State of Maine is supposed to take care of those people.
Yeah.
State of Maine is supposed to take care of the underprivileged.
Yep.
State of Maine is supposed to take care of that, not the federal government.
Yes.
Our other panelist, Mr. JT Von Base, is in chat.
Let Butter Squad suffer.
Well, I'm assuming since he's online, he's not in jail, so he didn't kill anybody.
That's good. Hey, Devin. So, yeah. Well, I also had a video that said ICE responds to AOC's bold threat about you cannot pursue charges against these senators or congressmen or whatever. Bullshit. You fucking sure as hell can, and you should.
You should, but you should with prejudice, because you of all people are the ones that should not be breaking a law.
They write the laws.
Exactly.
It was once written, I can't remember if this is part of the Constitution or not, I think it is, that the Congress cannot make laws that they don't have to live by themselves.
Yep.
And that right there is an example of that.
See, that's why I don't agree with government not paying into Social Security, not collecting and living on Social Security. No, you should be doing exactly what you expect me to do.
Yeah.
Your salary should reflect the salary of your state.
Yep.
If you want more money, you get your state to make more money.
Yep. And one of the main things I have a problem with is that they have their own healthcare system.
Yeah, no, none of that should be. You should be living just like Dylan's getting a new job. He's going to have to go through the same process they should. Applying for insurance, passing the exam, paying for it your damn self. Nobody's going to give Dylan a car to go to work. He's got to find his own ass to work, you know?
And insider trading, they get away with it.
Oh, nope. But I think, now you are so proud of these 87,000 IRS agents you hired. Every official from town to federal should be audited every year without fail.
Yeah.
If you hold a public office, you should be audited every year without fail.
Yeah. Well, it kind of reminds me of the old saying that we all heard when we were kids, ye who smelt it dealt it.
Yep.
It's kind of it takes one to know one. A lot of times in a relationship, when one person says the other one cheated, the person who said it is often the one who did all the cheating. They're the ones, because they're looking through those kind of glasses. And
it's the same thing.
Exactly.
It's like the same thing. If somebody's accusing you of lying, they're more so the ones that are doing it.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah.
Thou dost protest too much. Okay, Devin's telling on you, Dylan, for being mean. He's telling
Devin, you
JT.
shut your mouth and stop spreading lies, you son of a bitch.
Projection. Thank you, JT. That's projection. That's exactly what it is.
He's so smart.
Yeah, I know. He ought to be on the show sometime.
He doesn't even have to try to be smart. He is smart.
So, Jim, you got a joke for us, maybe?
I might have. Let's see. This bishop, he's walking back to the church, and he sees this little boy down at the pond fishing. So he yells over. He says, "How are they biting?" He goes, "Some bitches are biting great." Bishop looks at him and says, "Sonny," he says, "that's no way to talk." He goes, No, Bishop." He says, "That's what the fish are actually called. They're son of bitches." And he says, "They're awful fun to catch." He says, "Try." So Bishop sits down and he's fishing with the boy, having a grand old time. Caught quite a few of them. And he says, "Take them back." He says, "They're awful good to eat." So Bishop takes them back to the church. He hands them to the nuns. He says, "Hey, sister, can you cook up this son of a bitch?" Sister looks at him and says, "Oh, no, sister, don't worry. That's the actual name of the fish. Don't worry." So they cook one up and they hear, "Oh my God, this son of a bitch is great. This is the best son of a bitch I've ever." He said, "We're going to serve this to the Pope. The new Pope is coming to visit next week. We'll serve him this." So the new Pope comes and the cardinals escorts him in. They're sitting down and they serve the meal. And they go, "Oh, this is good." And the nun says, "Yep, I'm proud of this son of a bitch." And the priest said, "I caught this son of a bitch." New Pope looks at him and his Chicago accent pokes out and he goes, "You motherfuckers are okay."
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. So, yeah. I had a video a few weeks ago, but I ended up not being able to work that night, about RFK talking about chemtrails. All the shit that they're putting in jet fuel and spilling on people. It's like, I really never thought they were doing that, but you know, some of us are certain of it.
Well, it has to originate. The conspiracy has to originate somewhere.
Yeah.
And let's face it, I don't put it past my government to be pumping shit in the atmosphere. I really don't.
Nope. The FDA allows manufacturers to put all sorts of crap in our food that shouldn't be there. They don't do it in other countries.
Well, that's it.
We are here. We are their test subjects.
Exactly.
It shouldn't be that way.
Yeah. So, yeah, I really wouldn't put it past the government to have, you know, even as far back as even the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, they were always trying to cloud seed and stuff like that.
Yep.
So they know how to spray stuff.
Well,
I'm not saying they do, I'm not saying they don't, but I kind of lean one way, and you can probably figure that out.
Yeah. Well, see, I never put it past them. I didn't think they were doing it, but then I didn't think they were not doing it either.
Yeah.
So,
Is it you didn't think they were doing it, or you just didn't want to think they were doing it? You know, I don't want to think my government would do that to me, but oh, damn it, I know they are.
Yeah.
Hey, Chuck, my father says co-founder of Ben & Jerry got arrested today in protesting RFK.
All right, that commie motherfucker. Yeah. Excuse me. My opinion only, does not reflect Raw Chuck channel.
No, I have to agree with you, though. Anyway, thanks for coming out, everybody. Y'all have a good night. Anybody who wants to join us in Zoom, there's a link.
Say a prayer for America, guys.
Come on in.